Let's talk about exponents. Let's talk about problems that look like a to the x equals b, where a and b are not related, or at least not related in the way that these type 1 problems are. This video is about the problems that in class are called type 2. This video is about problems where a and b are not both integer powers of the same number. So as an example, I think I'm going to do number none off of your homework, at least not the homework worksheet I'm looking at. I'm going to make one up. I'm talking about problems like 3 to the x plus 4 equals 7. If you're looking for the kind that also has a power up here, I'm going to do that in this video. It'll be next. So if you know how to do this and you don't know how to do that one, just skip ahead a bit. This is type 2. It's not like the other ones because 3 and 7 aren't both powers of the same thing. I can't write both these as 2 to the, or 3 to the, or 7 to the. Or I mean, I could write this as 2 to the, but it wouldn't be an even exponent. 3 and 7 are kind of unrelated to each other. The way I solve these is I take the log of both sides. I take the log of both sides. What log do I take though? I could do log base 2, log base 3, log base 9, log base e, which is ln. I could do common log, which is log base 10. I'm going to do log base 3. I'm going to do log base 3 because that's the one that's going to undo this. Here I have 3 to the x plus 4. I'm going to do log base 3 because that's what's going to get the x plus 4 down and alone. Pro tip, I could choose whatever log I want and it'll work. The right one to choose here, though, that'll work best, is log base 3. I'm going to do log base 3. Look how colorful this is. Put in the orange. Log base 3 of 3 to the x plus 4 equals log base 3 of 7. Log base 3 of 3 to the x plus 4 equals log base 3 of 7. What do I do with that? Well, the reason I did log base 3 was so that these can cancel. This all cancels. I can get left with x plus 4. This is one of the things that cancels. It cancels because exponentiation and logarithms are inverses, and inverses cancel each other out. It cancels because if I bring down the x plus 4 to the front, it's going to be x plus 4 times log base 3 of 3. Log base 3 of 3 is 1, so it's x plus 4 times 1, which is just x plus 4. Or it cancels because this is asking the question, 3 to what power is 3 to the x plus 4 power? It's saying, what exponent do I put on top of a 3 to make 3 to the x plus 4? X plus 4 is the answer. Log base 3 is 7, I can't really do anything with. Problems of this type, I won't really be able to do anything with it. If I were able to do something with it, it means it was actually a type 1 problem. Every time I'm saying type 1 and type 2, I'm doing quotation marks, but you can't see it because I'm recording. I don't know why I'm doing that. So, since I can't do anything with this, I just write log base 3 of 7. And now it's an algebra 1 problem. It doesn't look like it because that doesn't look like algebra 1. But log base 3 of 7 is a number. Log base 3 of 7, I'm going to do 7 log divided by 3 log equals, what I'm really doing now, log base 3 of 7 is 1.771. I'm practically doing this problem because log base 3 of 7 came out to 1.771. This is an algebra 1 problem, so this is really 2, just this doesn't look like it. To solve for x, I subtract 4 from both sides. I don't go to this one because I don't have a calculator with me all the time, and this is an approximation, whereas this is exact. To solve this, I subtract 4 from both sides. I get x equals negative 4 plus log base 3 of 7. I guess I subtracted 4, so I added negative 4. I could write log base 3 of 7 minus 4, but then it might not be clear that the minus 4 is out of the log. It should be clear, but this is just the most clear way to write it. And that's it. That's my answer. X is -4 plus log base 3 of 7. Done. Variation on this is when both of these have something in the exponent. So now I am going to do one off of that solving logarithms and exponential equations worksheet. I'm going to do number 22. Number 22 said, said 3, you can't see, 3 to the x plus 4 equals 6 to the 2x minus 5. And I solve it the same way, where I'm going to take a log of both sides. Just this time, it's not as clear what I should do. In the last problem, I did log base 3 because I wanted to get this out of 3 to the. I did log base 3 because of the 3. Here, do I do log base 3? Do I do log base 6? Neither one is going to work better than the other. Really, I could choose any log I want. All of them are kind of going to be on a level playing field, except I should do common log, log base 10, or I should do natural log, because those are the ones I have in the calculator. If I need to solve for x using a calculator, I could do it. So I'm going to do ln, because in class I asked, and everyone says common log because you're afraid of ln, but it's the same thing, and this is fewer letters. So I'll do ln of, it's not the same thing. I mean, ln doesn't mean the same thing as log, but it means log base e, and it works the same. So I'm going to solve this. What did taking the ln of both sides, the natural log of both sides, what did that do for me? How did that help? It helps because now I can use my log properties, and I can bring down the exponents. This guy can pop on out to the front. This guy can pop on out to the front. And I'm going to write it down there with parentheses. That way I show that I'm talking about the whole thing multiplied out to the front of the log. So I'm talking about x plus 4 ln of 3. All I did is I brought the x plus 4 down to the front equals 2x minus 5 ln of 6. And now again it's just algebra 1. I can figure out what ln of 3 is. It's decimal. Ln of 6 is a decimal. It's algebra 1, but it scares you because you see ln. When you see ln, you freak out and the brain forgets that it's an algebra 1 problem. So what I did is, I'll say the same thing now that I said to you in class, which is I'll tell you the strategy. That way you don't have to think about it when you're doing it. That way when your brain shuts down, because this is scary. You know on a logical level, I'm telling you it's algebra 1, you maybe understand that, but it's still as scary and the brain shuts down. So the way you do it, you don't need to rely on your math intuition. I'm telling you, the way you do it is you distribute, move everything with x to one side, everything without x to the other side. Then you're going to factor out an x and divide, but we'll get to that. So for now, distribute, and then move everything with an x to one side of the equal sign, everything without an x to the other side. So distributing, I'm going to say x times ln 3, and I'm going to say 4 times ln 3. X times ln 3 plus 4 times ln 3. I'm going to do 2x times ln 6. And I'm going to do negative 5 times ln 6. And now I said after distributing, I put everything with x on one side, everything without x to the other side. So I'm going to subtract both sides by this. That way I move it to the left side. I'm going to subtract both sides by this. That way I move it to the right side. All I'm doing is moving this guy to the left side, moving this one to the right side. Everything with x on one side, everything without x on the other side. It's going to be a race. Am I able to finish this problem on this piece of paper? Oh, the suspense. Okay, I distributed. I moved everything with x to one side, everything without x to the other. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out an x. And that gives me x ln3 minus 2 ln 6. I factor out that x, then that way I could divide by everything in parentheses that's after that x. Because when I divide by everything in parentheses, I'm going to get stuck with just x, which is what I want. X equals negative 5 ln 6 minus 4 ln 3 over ln 3 minus 2 ln 6. Do you have to change this at all? Do you move the negative 5 up? Do you take ln 3 minus ln 36, that's kind of 6 squared, and make it into ln 3 over 36, and that'd be ln 112. It doesn't matter. This is fine. Write something that is correct on your answer sheet, and I will give you the scores for a correct problem. There's no simplified versus not simplified, because it's however you want to plug it into a calculator from here. Be able to, however, recognize this in slightly different forms, because if this is free response, you're good writing this, but if it's multiple choice, maybe I'll instead have ln 3 minus ln of 6 squared. And so you have to be able to recognize the right multiple choice answer.